However, the moment that made headlines, this right here, the hard foul involving Clark and Kennedy Carter.
Things were about, very, very physical, a lot of blood, a lot of tears, whatever it was, so I'm definitely prepared for it.
Picture this. Caitlin Clark steps onto the WNBA court for the first time. The crowd goes wild. But wait, what's that? Some players are giving her the side eye. Is this the welcome party from hell? Let's break down why some WNBA vets might be less than thrilled about the new kid on the block. So Clark steps into the WNBA, and instead of a warm welcome, she walks right into a storm. The spotlight's on her 24/7, and some of the league veterans are not happy about it. You know how it is when the new kid gets all the attention, right? Think about it. Clark's face is everywhere. Billboards, commercials, social media. The media can't get enough of her. But for some players who've been grinding in the league for years, it's like, hey, what about us? Now let's talk about Aja Wilson. She's a superstar in her own right, but even she couldn't help throwing a little shade. Wilson hinted that race might be playing a part in why Clark's getting so much love. It's a touchy subject, but it's out there. And then there's Angel Reese. Remember her? She had some words about all the Clark hype. Reese straight up said, "The reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too." Ouch. That's gotta sting if you're Clark. But wait, it gets even crazier. The Olympic team's snub. Yeah, you heard that right. Clark, the college superstar, the #1 draft pick, didn't make the cut for Team USA. Can you imagine how that felt? It's like being the prom queen and then not getting invited to the after party. This snub, it was like pouring gasoline on a fire. Suddenly, everyone's questioning if Clark's really as good as the hype. Some players and fans are saying, see, she's not all that. It's like they were waiting for a chance to knock her down a peg. But here's the thing, this isn't new. You know who else faced this kind of heat when they first showed up? LeBron James. Yeah, the king himself. When he entered the NBA, some vets weren't too thrilled about all the attention he was getting either. Speaking of LeBron, he actually came to Clark's defense. He said, "If you don't rock with Caitlin Clark's game, you're just a flat out hater." 5 exclamation points. That's how you know he means business. But not everyone's buying into the everyone hates Caitlin story.
Just had this kind of, like you said, you don't want to say hate, but just like animosity, like towards.
Jonquil Jones, another WNBA star, spoke up. She said, "I'm interested to know who are all the women that are hating on Clark." It's like she's saying, hey, maybe we're making this drama bigger than it really is. So what's really going on here? Is it just normal rookie hazing? Is it jealousy? Or is it something deeper about how we treat new stars in sports? Here's the deal, this kind of backlash, it's pretty common for high-profile rookies. Think about it. When a new star bursts onto the scene, it shakes things up. Veterans who've been working hard for years suddenly feel like they're in the shadow of this newcomer. Remember when Zion Williamson entered the NBA, or when Megan Rapinoe first made waves in soccer? They all faced some pushback at first. It's like a rite of passage for superstars. Alright, let's talk about when things got really heated on the court. Picture this, Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky. The tension in the air was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Everyone knew this wasn't just another game. It was Caitlin Clark's big moment, and all eyes were on her. The game starts and Clark's doing her thing. She's zipping passes, draining threes, making the crowd go wild. But you could see it in the other players' eyes. They weren't just trying to stop her, they wanted to send a message. Then it happened. Kennedy Carter comes flying in out of nowhere. Bam! She slams into Clark with a shoulder check that sends her crashing to the floor. The crowd goes silent for a second, then erupts. Players are yelling, coaches are on their feet. It's total chaos.
But it was a game on Saturday between the Fever and the Chicago Sky that had a lot of people talking.
This morning, this physical moment involving the WNBA's most high-profile rookie raising questions.
However, the moment that made headlines, this right here, the hard foul involving Clark and Kennedy Carter.
Clark gets up, looking a bit shaken, but trying to play it cool. The refs huddle up, and guess what? They call it a flagrant foul. That's when you know it's serious. The WNBA even upgraded it later to a flagrant 1. They're not messing around. Now, you're probably thinking, is this normal? Are they targeting Clark? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Some people are saying, yeah, it's a grudge match. Others, they're calling it standard rookie treatment. Let's hear it from Clark herself. After the game, she said, "I wasn't expecting that. It's just like, respond, calm down, and let your play do the talking." That's some ice-cold composure right there, but you gotta wonder what's going through her head. This wasn't just a one-time thing though.
Things were about, very, very physical, a lot of blood, a lot of tears, whatever it was. So I'm definitely prepared for it.
I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, come down, let your play do the talk.
Game after game, Clark has been getting hammered. It's like there's a bullseye on her back. Sabrina Ionescu, one of the league's top guards, spilled the tea. She said, "We understand who kind of the head of the monster is on that team. We are trying to just make everything tough and difficult." Sounds like a game plan, doesn't it? But wait, it gets better. Kennedy Carter, the one who laid out Clark, she took to social media later and threw some serious shade. She asked, "Beside three-point shooting, what does she bring to the table, man? Ouch." Talk about adding insult to injury. So is this personal? Is it just part of the game? The vets have something to say about that. Jonquel Jones, a seasoned player, stepped in to set things straight. She said, "I don't think it's anything personal. I think we're just going out here, competing at a very high level." Fair enough, but is that the whole story? Clark's coach, Christy Sides, isn't buying it. After watching Clark get knocked around game after game, she spoke up. "It's tough to keep getting hammered the way she does, and to not get rewarded with free throws or foul calls," she said.
And they keep telling us why we're not right about our calls, or what we think, but we're gonna keep doing it.
Fever head coach Christy Sides expressing frustration.
We just keep sending all these clips into the league.
Sounds like she's fed up with the refs turning a blind eye. This whole situation's got everyone talking. Is it just tough love for the rookie? Or is there something more going on? Some folks are saying it's about respect, others think it's jealousy, and then there's the race card that keeps getting played. Alright, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Caitlin Clark's journey isn't just about one rookie shaking things up. It's like holding up a mirror to the whole WNBA. We're seeing all these issues come to light. Media attention, player marketing, how the league's growing. It's wild. First off, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Race. Yeah, I said it. Clark's whiteness is a factor here. Whether we like it or not, Aujaa Wilson, one of the league's biggest stars, didn't mince words. She said, "You can be top-notch at what you are as a black woman." It boils my blood when people say it's not about race, because it is. That's heavy stuff.
Aujaa Wilson thinks that Caitlin Clark is only popular because she's white. It's really because you can be the top-notch at what you do as a black woman, but maybe there's something that people don't want to see. And I think in overall popularity, does her race play a factor? Nominal.
But here's the thing, it's not just about Clark being white, it's about how the media and fans react to her. Some people feel like she's getting way more attention than other players who've been grinding for years. And let's be real, a lot of those players are black women who've been the backbone of this league. Now, don't get me wrong, Clark's not doing anything wrong by being popular, she's just playing her game, but it's bringing up all these questions about who gets the spotlight in women's basketball and why. But check this out, not everyone thinks Clark's fame is a bad thing. Some players and commentators are saying, hey, this could be good for all of us. They're thinking big picture. More eyes on Clark means more eyes on the WNBA. More fans, more sponsorships, more money in the game. That's a win for everyone, right? Even LeBron James is on board. He said, Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things are gonna happen for the WNBA. When the king speaks, people listen. But here's where it gets tricky. Some folks are worried that all this Clark hype is overshadowing other amazing players in the league. It's like, are we so focused on one star that we're missing the whole galaxy? You've got players like Kennedy Carter asking, beside three-point shooting, what does she bring to the table, man? It's like they're saying, hey, what about us? We've got skills too. So what's the deal? Is Clark's popularity good or bad for the WNBA? Well, it's not that simple. It's both. Yeah, you heard me right. On one hand, Clark's bringing in new fans, new sponsors, new energy. That's huge for a league that's been fighting for more recognition. But on the other hand, it's shining a light on some uncomfortable truths about race, media bias, and who gets to be the face of women's basketball. Here's the thing, the WNBA's at a crossroads. Clark's arrival is like a catalyst, forcing everyone to face these big questions. How do we market the league? How do we make sure all players get their due? How do we grow the game without leaving anyone behind? It's not just about Clark anymore. It's about the future of the WNBA. Can the league use this moment to get bigger and better? Can they find a way to lift up all their stars, not just one?